Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas and enjoying your time with your friends and family. Now, I just wanted to quickly jump on here because for the new year, I am starting a Selling with Kindness challenge. But before we dive into that for the new year, I wanted to give this special Christmas gift for you, which is about selling to your friends and family, which might seem like the weirdest concept ever because you're like, well, I don't sell to my friends and family. But I actually believe it's one of the most important skills that we can learn, especially at a time of Christmas where we're all together. And we want to really, it should be about having fun and enjoying each other's company. But we all know sometimes it does end in more, tension and arguments, and we really want to avoid that. So that's really what I want to, give you today, because it really comes down to sales. And the thing is, with sales is really just an energy exchange, right? So in business, we're exchanging a product for money. And, without getting too metaphysical on you guys right here, at the end of the day, that is still just an energy exchange. And when we're in relationships, like our friends and our family, we're really exchanging what? Kindness and love and caring for each other and fun and, laughter and tears. It's still all an exchange. And if you think about it, when you first met your friends, even if it's like me, my best friends have been friends with me since I was 8 years old. When we initially meet each other, we have to sell ourselves, we have to sell our values, who we are, what we want to do, to even initiate that kind of contact. And then we're continuously doing that as the relationship evolves. The reason we never obviously think about it as sales is because we're the most natural salespeople with our friends. Because if you think about the friendships that are the most important to you, they are going to be the ones that you're just always coming from a place of giving. Right? You're never worried about what they're going to give back to you because you all know they just do, right? You're just always how can how can I give more to this person? How can I be more there for them? How can I give them more love? It's probably the person that over Christmas you're can't wait to get them a present. You're just oh yeah, I'm so excited, to give them something. But we all know the flip side of this as well, and sometimes this is why friendships break up, is when either the other person, it always feels like the other person is expecting something from us, or they're always focused on what they can get, and they're never it's always they're keeping score in some shape or form. Or we've even done it ourselves. Let's be honest, we all we're all human, we all make mistakes, and we all go through these different phases, and maybe we've been even the cause of a relationship breaking down, or we've realized the kind of wrongness in our ways and repaired it. But this is really what it is. It's just this feeling, this energy exchange of giving and taking. This is why most people hate salespeople, because let's take the stereotypical, used car salesman that everyone hates. It's because when we're engaging in this process with that person, is we can feel that they are just focusing on taking our money rather than giving us a product that's really going to make our life better, that is going to bring us joy, that's going to solve the problems we have. And it's no different in our, personal relationships. Now, with friendships, often, this is a bit easier because we select our friends. When it comes to family, we do not select our family, right? We just kind of get stuck with each other. And this is why I think it's even more important to really start kind of cultivating these skills of sales, that we can avoid any of the tension and drama that often comes in family gatherings as well. So because it always, and this is a challenge I'll put out for you, this time of the year when you're spending a lot of time with friends and families, often you'll notice when you start feeling there's any kind of tension between you, getting angry or upset with somebody, just start taking note and realize, because most of the time when that is happening, it's because we're focusing on what we're not getting rather than on what we could be giving. And that's always the solution, right? When we notice that we're focusing on what we're not getting from the other person, or they're not doing this, or they should have been doing that, and because that's what we're doing, we're focused on what we're not getting. All we have to do is switch to let me give. So an example, I can give you an example. This happens every Christmas at our table. It probably happens, not just Christmas, it happens anytime we get together. We have quite a loud family, right? Everyone's always talking, and I am probably at the very head of that, always wanting to talk. So there's always a point where I go, no, I get really angry, and I'm like, nobody's listening to me. I want to tell a story, and I don't have anybody's attention. They're not listening to me. Right, so what am I doing in that point? Hi, Wendla. Yes, I am focusing on not giving. I'm focusing on what I'm not getting, right? In that case, I'm not getting everyone's attention. They're not listening to my story. So I'm focused really on myself rather than on everybody else. And the solution to it really would be, if I start focusing on everyone else, well, then I'm going to be able to get their attention. Like if I focus on more being a great storyteller and how can I make this story interesting to everybody, then it changes. Or if I use my empathy, being like, I might just have, let's say I have a story about a computer and my granddad's sitting there, and I know my granddad loves computers. So if I turn to my granddad and go, hey granddad, you'll find this really interesting because you love computers, the other day, and I launch into my story. Because again, what have I done? I've started focusing on how I can give. I'm giving something of interest to my granddad because it's a topic that he's interested in. See how these are the skills of what, in a really basic sense of, empathy and using kindness and focusing on giving rather than taking. And this works in business just as much as it does in our personal relationships. And I personally think, if you're like me, where the people closest to you are the most important thing, the relationships you have are the most important in your life, I think it's even more important that we use them there than it is in business. So try and challenge yourself this Christmas. Just kind of keep an eye out. When is it that you're focusing on what you're not getting? And switch your mindset to, okay, I noticed, and don't judge yourself because we all do it, right? Like we all do it all the time. But it's just about catching yourself, being aware, and then moving over to being more focused on how you can give to someone. And the other scenario that obviously sometimes happens is that, you're actually in the giving mode, but the other person is focusing on what you can take. Now, and this is why sales is so important, because when we're really great salespeople, we're really leaders. And it's not about trying to control other people. Again, I've tried this, it doesn't work. You can't control other people. Take it from me. But we can influence, right? So it's about being a leader, and we can influence people. And again, that doesn't mean we go to that person and say, hey, you're focusing on, taking, not giving. That doesn't work either. I've tried that approach as well. It doesn't work. What you do want to use is, again, it's more empathy. It's more like, okay, let me ask some questions. Like, how can I understand this person? Like, why is this person in this space? Let me help understand them, and maybe just give a space for them where they feel heard, where they feel listened to, where they feel like they're not going to be judged, and we can kind of resolve the conversation. So, again, this is sales really at its core. It's just communicating and coming and really being aware that it's always this energy exchange that's happening. And you guys know me, I always love to give you guys some practical advice. So I want to give you a practical tool that all of you can use this Christmas. And because at the very start, before we go into really details of how do we become really these great communicators, coming from a giving place is the most important part. And coming from that place, the easiest way to get there is through gratitude. So try this Christmas. When you're all sitting around, like maybe for Christmas dinner or any other time, just, and you start the conversation and be like, you know what, everybody, I just want to take a minute of, saying how grateful I am. So grateful that we're all here together, that we get to share this meal together. And then you might even want to go, through every single person individual. Like you might want to go to your mom and be like, Mom, I'm so grateful, for this beautiful meal that you prepared and you cooked and, hosted this Christmas, not this year, but, all the years you do it. Really, really appreciate you, and I'm so grateful for you. And then you go to the next person and you're like, oh, Granddad, I'm so grateful for the love and wisdom that you bring to the family. Whatever it is, like it has to come from a genuine place. But again, it's when you focus on, there's always things that people do that we don't like, and there's things that they do like, but it's what we focus on that we all experience. And just try it, because we've done this as a family before, and it's a really beautiful thing that it does. Yes, the right, Vendor, doesn't it? And just try it out this Christmas, because like I said, especially maybe when there is some tension going on or anything like that, like just bring it back to gratitude. And I think being great salespeople is such an important role that we need to have, or cultivating that sales skill from a kind, loving place in our personal relationships. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you tried it out. Let me know in the comments as well what happens. And I hope you'll join me as well for the new year with the challenge. We're going to be doing selling with kindness, because honestly, I believe, and obviously this is going to be focused on business. How do you sell in business in 2019 and, and beyond, in the world that we now live in? I really believe kindness and empathy is the most important thing. But I also think these same skills is really important that we apply them in our personal relationships, and honestly just with strangers and around people, people that are around us, because, there's so much negativity going on in the world, and, you see it on the news every time when you turn it on. But the thing, most people are trying to deal with the negativity of the world by adding more negativity, by getting angry or by getting upset. It doesn't work, right? The only thing that can combat negativity is positivity. And again, that's why I think it's so important for more of us that are, to kind of step up and become leaders from a positive place, and to spread more kindness and spread more love and joy. So I hope you will join me for that for the new year.